Gunmen kill medical doctor in FCT's Kubo access, kidnap his 3 children. Borno government vows to sustain peace efforts despite recent attacks on Jigawa community. Daily Trust Foundation, BUK signed MOU to promote journalism education. On the foreign scene, charging Parliament scraps presidential term limits, cements Idris Debi's role. Good evening, this is News Update on Trust TV. I am Chiamaka Nlafo. Thank you for joining us. An Abuja-based veterinary doctor and former chairman of the Nigerian Veterinary Medical Association FCT chapter, Dr. Tinubu, has been killed by suspected kidnappers who whisked away his 3 children. It was gathered that the deceased residence in Kebbi district along the Kaduna road was invaded on Friday night by the gunmen. They abducted him alongside his 3 children and later dumped his body by the roadside. Dr. Obu's death was confirmed by Andrew Gabriel Ikechukwu via his Facebook page, noting that the corpse of the deceased was found on the roadside. The late Obu was described as a dedicated professional who left behind a nursing wife and grieving family members. Colleagues and friends have expressed shock at the killing, describing it as a devastating loss to both his family and the veterinary profession. The FCT Police Command is yet to issue a statement on the incident. Over in Borno State, Deputy Governor Usman Kadafro says recent attacks on Kirawa community and other areas will not derail the state government's commitment to sustaining peace and stability. He made this known when he received members of the House of Representatives Committee on Insurance and Actuarial Matters who paid a courtesy visit to the government house in Maiduguri. The Deputy Governor explained that despite the challenges and destruction caused by insurgency, the state government has rebuilt several affected communities through its resettlement initiatives and strengthened the resilience of the people. He added that the achievements recorded in the fight against terrorism will not be allowed to threaten the peace and development agenda being consolidated by the administration of Governor Babagana Zulum in the post-insurgency era.
But we have attacks in the fringes of villages around the metropolis and the state capital. And, even if one life is lost, we have to show great concern for the life. But alhamdulillah, a lot of our communities have been settled, but we're still experiencing some challenges. But the prayers, inshallah, Borno will regain its name of form of peace and hospitality.
The impression out there, Your Excellency, as you are aware, is that Borno is a war zone. And for those of us that are conversant with the reality and what is obtainable in Borno today, under the distinguished leadership of His Excellency, Engineer Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, we know Borno is a home of emerging peace and hospitality.
The people of Turan in Kwande local government area of Benue State have staged a protest to demand the withdrawal of military personnel from the area over alleged attacks on mourners, which left 4 persons dead, including 2 students. Eyewitnesses said the tragic incident occurred when some mourners were intercepted by soldiers and on their way back from the burial of a traditional ruler. They alleged that the security operatives had demanded money to escort the family of the late traditional ruler due to the volatile security situation. But when the request was declined, some youths volunteered to provide the escort themselves. Our correspondent in the state tells us more.
Tuesday's controversial killing of 2 students and 2 mourners by soldiers in Kwande local government area of Benue State has continued to generate outrage, with women taking to the streets of Jatoka to register their displeasure. The protesting women, in tears, took their grievances to the Kwande, as well as to appointees of the governor and the deputy commissioner of police, during a meeting in Jatoka demanding the immediate withdrawal of Nigerian army troops from the area. Kete Kwande, political leaders and other prominent indigenes of the area called for the withdrawal of the military and the setting up of a commission of inquiry to investigate the actions of the soldiers.
We have just one simple request. Withdraw these soldiers and give us more mobile and more policemen. And we are not asking too much. After all, soldiers are never trained to live with people in town. And since they are not willing to go to the bush to fight, then let them return to their barracks.
We are here mourning the death of one of the kindred heirs. Shortly after the interment, it was at the point that both our youths, after the soldiers refused to give us that assistance, even when they demanded that we should give them some money, yes, about 1 million naira. So we demanded that, okay, we will give them about 450,000. They say no, they can't go to that place. So when these people were coming back, these are our youths, then they now attack, the soldiers attack them and hold 2 of them. So the other people run away because at that instance, the soldiers shoot at one of the youths and kill him instantly. That is Yosu Abu. Because of the shot of that youth, so many people were scared and started running helter-skelter to India for safety. And so, right there and then, the other soldiers that were there started shooting sporadically and to scare away people. In the process, that was how the students that came out from the schools, both the primary schools and the secondary schools, were going. And it was in this attempt that some of them received some bullets. 2 youths, 2 students died instantly. So the other people that survived various forms of injuries, some of them are even still in the hospitals.
What I have heard and what I've seen in my community of Jatoka, where young girls and young children were killed without provocation by the Nigerian army, is totally unacceptable. And this act cannot go free. The military hierarchy will set up an inquiry into this issue, and these soldiers that perpetrated this act must be held accountable.
A teacher who survived the incident narrated his experience.
So I quickly rushed to the place. I only take a glance look at my student lying on the ground in a distance, on making all possible ways that I can get hold of her. I was unable because I was denied access. They nearly shoot me, claiming nobody has audacity or time to go to the nearby students. They shoot them almost 3 there, and the other guy ran to his house while they picked the remaining 2. They deny access. They deny both the parents, the teachers, and the general public the access.
The Deputy Commissioner of Police, Wosu Asuko, appealed for calm, assuring that investigations into the killings have commenced.
I want to start by saying that investigation is ongoing. I don't want to preempt the outcome of the investigation. And if the security personnel use excessive force, which is against their rules of engagement, I think the appropriate agency will do the right thing in terms of sanction.
On Wednesday, however, aggrieved youth launched a violent protest in Jatoka, setting ablaze the residence and office of the 3rd class chief, Mwete Chongu, Chief Simon Bave.
In Kebbi State, the police command at the weekend said it has killed 3 members of the Lakurawa group, while several others escaped to the forest with fatal gunshot wounds at Gurunyama, a community in Dandi local government area of Kebbi State. Released by the command's public relations officer, CSP Nephew Abubakar, said the police engaged the Chara group in fierce gun duel, which lasted 4 hours and killed 3 of the Chara group when they invaded the community. It added that one unregistered red Honda motorcycle, also known as Boko Haram, was recovered from the fleeing terror group. The release said the statement Commissioner of Police Bello Msani commended the DPO Kamba and his team for their diligence, bravery and swift response. He urged them to sustain the existing synergy amongst them with a view to curbing the emerging activities of Lakurawa terror group and other violent crimes in the state. Members of the Islamic movement in Nigeria, IMN, have staged a peaceful protest in Kaduna, calling for an end to the ongoing war in Gaza, which has displaced and killed many Palestinians. The protesters will march through major streets in the Kaduna metropolis, urged the Nigerian government to sever diplomatic ties with Israel over what they described as continued aggression against the people of Palestine.
Yeah, Nigeria has many things in common with Palestine. Number one, we are all human beings. Humanity first. That is first. Secondly, Islam. But the most important thing even about Palestine is about humanity. This protest is being staged not only here in Nigeria but everywhere in the world, including the United States of America, Britain and France. We are calling for the government of Nigeria in the first place to completely cut any kind of diplomatic ties with Israel. Because what we have heard recently about them is that Nigerian government under the leadership of Tinubu have decided to now restore diplomatic relations and even going to the extent of entering into a defense and military pact with Israel. And we condemn this one in totality. Yes.
In Jigawa State, Governor Umar Namadi has formally flagged off an empowerment program for 1,400 women engaged in the cap embroidery business. The event took place at the banquet hall of the Government House Tutsi as part of the state government's determination to provide more jobs through skills acquisition. The report.
The initiative, implemented under the State Agency for Youth Empowerment and Employment, led by Director General Dr. Habibi Ubali Kenya, targets women drawn from the 7 local government areas within the Dutse Emirates. In her opening remark, the Commissioner for Women Affairs, Hajia Hadiza Abdulwahab, described the program as a bold step towards strengthening women's economic independence and improving household livelihood across the state.
Traditional capitalism weaving is more than just a craft. It is a testament to cultural heritage and an art form that has been passed down through the ages, often from mother to daughter, and sustained by the hands of a skilled artisan.
Governor Namadi said the intervention aims to revive a generational craft, boost productivity and reduce poverty. Each of the 1,400 beneficiaries received a complete set of embroidery tools and a cash token to support their businesses. The governor further revealed that plans are underway to establish 2 production clusters that will help organize the trade, expand market access, and transform the local crafts into a valuable industry.
But we need to modernize it. We need to empower these people so that they can do it much more than what it is happening today. So we felt it is important to give all the material that is required for cap knitting and also give them a working capital. What we are trying to do is to encourage them. The woman that is doing only 1 in a month or 1 in a 2 months, now will be able to do 5 to 10 within a month. So with that, we are trying to put them into a cluster and then we create an industry for them.
And the slogan of this administration, part of it is, let's use Jigawa state money in Jigawa. So we are here empowering our own local businesses, small entrepreneurs, big entrepreneurs and medium ones, so that they can come up there, we can consume what we are producing. So we are trying now to bring them up, as you've seen today. We have empowered them. At least a woman that is doing 1 cap can do at least straightforward 3 set of caps materials.
Some of the beneficiaries expressed gratitude, noting that the support will go a long way in improving their livelihood and helping them cater for their families.
The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has appealed to residents to exercise patience with the growing heaps of refuse littering strategic locations across the territory. WK made the appeal during an inspection of ongoing road projects in Uye District and Kuje Area Council. The minister acknowledged the inconvenience caused by the delay in waste evacuation, explaining that the contract for refuse collection had expired. He assured that within 2 weeks, new contractors would be assigned to resume the clearing of refuse across the city.
It's been a major problem. We're already removing all the refuse that have been dumped. You just ask yourself. And the problem we have is that we believe in the next 2 weeks, the contract will be formally awarded for the refuse disposal. So that, I can tell you, that will help us quite a lot. Even in the city, there was no contract. The one that was there before came all expired, but everything is being done to see that. And not just giving out this contract, most of them don't have the capacity. I call them political contractors. So we do everything to see that only those who are competent, those who have equipment to clean to do refuse disposal, just be patient with us. We are not happy. We are doing everything to see that.
To more stories, the Daily Trust Foundation, the corporate social responsibility arm of the Media Trust Group, has signed a memorandum of understanding with Bayero University, Kano, and the continuous training of journalists in Nigeria. The partnership aims to strengthen journalism education, promote professional development, and sustain quality reporting across the country. Abdulaziz Ibrahim reports.
At the office of the Vice Chancellor, Bayero University, Kano, representatives of the institution and the Daily Trust Foundation put pen to paper, formalizing a collaboration on continuous training of media practitioners. Chairman of the foundation, Bilia Bala, said the agreement focuses on 4 key areas.
The validation of training content, which we want you to do that for us. We want you to review our modules, courses, and say, yes, you are on the right track. And then we will share resources. Already, I think we have done so. Some of your lecturers have participated. They have been in our newsroom. So we have been doing that. We want to do more of that. And then we talk of future collaborations.
He recalled that since 2017, the Daily Trust Foundation, with the support of the MacArthur Foundation, has trained over 2,000 journalists across Nigeria in fact-checking, budget tracking, data journalism, and investigative journalism.
Governments all over the world, if you don't hold them to account, they can go wild. And the only people that can do that and get away with it to a certain extent are the journalists. And if you don't have trained journalists to do it, you will only end up with brown envelope collectors.
He also revealed plans to establish the Daily Trust Digital Academy, which will provide journalists access to online training models designed to build their professional capacity. From the university side, the Director of Broadcasting Services, Professor Suleiman Yar Adua, noted that BUK has long collaborated with the Media Trust Group through internships and employment opportunities for students.
Annually, we do go there for first-hand experiences in their in-house work, and we come back with a lot of knowledge which we share to our students. And so both the staff and the students have been benefiting from Daily Trust, the Daily Trust Foundation, and the training and the intern. So I think it is important that I told them that, okay, let's formalize this relationship.
Vice Chancellor Professor Haruna Musa described the agreement as a mutually beneficial partnership that reinforces BUK's commitment to capacity building in investigative journalism.
We are fully optimistic and convinced that with vibrant investigative journalism framework in Nigeria, at least some of the excesses by the ruling class will be checkmated. And I therefore want to assure you that the university will continue to partner with you in this regard. We have been interfacing with Media Trust for quite some time. In fact, we have a long-standing relationship with Media Trust. However, there is a need for, as a matter of importance and as a matter of priority, to now make this engagement formal.
The event also featured a presentation of the Daily Trust Foundation profile by Bilia Bala to the Vice Chancellor, marking a new phase in the long-standing relationship between the media organization and the university. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
In business, Nigeria has emerged as a key crude supplier to the 30,000 barrels per day Dakar refinery in Senegal, even as the country celebrated its entry to the League of Oil-Producing Nations last year. Senegal began pumping oil in mid-2024 from the Sangoroma field, which produces around 100,000 barrels per day of medium sour crude, according to a report by industry analyst Kepler. The report stated that virtually all of this production is exported to Europe, with Spain, Italy and the Netherlands taking the bulk of cargoes. However, despite being an oil producer, Senegal cannot feed its lone refinery with its own crude. Instead, the refinery has turned to Nigeria's Crude, which fits its processing capacity. Kepler reports that in recent months, Nigeria has imported about 30,000 of Era into Dakar, underlining Nigeria's role as a lifeline for Senegal's refining system. Away from Nigeria, Chad's parliament has overwhelmingly approved a constitutional amendment abolishing presidential term limits, a move critics decry as a maneuver to entrench the rule of President Mohamed Idris Deby Itno. The controversial decision passed on Friday paves the way for Deby to potentially remain in power for decades. The amendment, introduced by Deby's Patriotic Salvation Movement (MPS), was approved by 236 of the 257 lawmakers. The vote was boycotted by some opposition members, with the national rally of Chadian Democrats walking out in protest. Opposition leader Albert Pahimi Badeke had earlier condemned the change as unconstitutional and authoritarian, signaling a deepening political rift. And in sports, a total of 10 million naira has been earmarked as prize money for participants, in addition to other consolation prizes, as the second edition of the Africa 4P Sports Festival kicks off in Delta State on November 15 to commemorate the 2025 International Day for Tolerance. Former Super Eagles International, Edima Fuludu, has been appointed chairman of the local organizing committee for the event. This was contained in a statement signed by the festival's initiator and chairman, Delta State Mini Football Association, Sharif Mulade, and made available to journalists in Warri on Saturday. Mulade explained that the festival would provide an opportunity for the Nigeria Mini Football Association's scouting delegation to identify, attract and recruit talented players into the national team to represent Nigeria in upcoming international tournaments. He also said registration was now open, adding that the 2025 edition promises to be an unforgettable experience. And with that, we come to the end of news updates at this time. For more of our news programs and documentaries, do us watch on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I'm Chiamaka Nwafor. Thank you for this time. Good evening.